Good afternoon. We're having a look at this property. You can see the whole of that white building is the house, and one of the first things we will do is to take a look at the boundary map. It's all within the black lines that I've drawn in. Now, I wouldn't swear to the exact boundaries there, as near as we could do it with the neighbour's help. Now, the big round circular object that's right in front or just to the side of the house, that's a big water deposit. Oh, and you can't have a borehole up here. There are none in the area. But that will collect a lot of rain. It is big. So if you're looking at keeping a garden, that is important. Let's go to the maps. Lisbon Airport is 1 hour and 46 minutes. Porto Airport is 1 hour and 47 minutes. Pombal, for day-to-day shopping, is 25 minutes. And the beach is 46 minutes by the quickest route. And for big shopping days out, Coimbra is 43 minutes. I mean, Ansiao is a little bit closer than any of those, and you can pretty much get anything you need from there. Okay, so back to the land and the local area. You can now see the extremities. So just by my car to the right, you'll see a building there and the wall that goes in front of it. That's one boundary. And over to the left, you can see another building, and you can probably just make out a circular object to the side of that, and that is a threshing circle, and the building would have been where the grain was stored. So a little bit more as you take a look around about the local area. There's plenty of places to visit. Various lakes and river beaches are not very far away at all. You can probably be there in 20 or 25 minutes. The ruins of Coimbriga at about the same distance. Tamar is less than 45 minutes. That's the World Heritage Site Tamar and its fabulous Templar Castle. You are really well located for cultural travel and exploits. That's when you're bored of just drinking in this wonderful countryside and its crystal clear air, of course. At the back end of the property, you can now see some scruffy corrugated iron. You almost certainly want to replace that with something a bit prettier, but you might want to keep the concept, the shade, because you know it is a lovely place to sit at the back of the house there in the shade. The house is pretty much south facing, so on hot days, around the back, under all that shade, with a glass of something cold, would be a pretty fabulous place to be, and a really not unpleasant outlook. There is also a huge walnut tree around there. Oh, look on the road. Have a look on the road now. We've got the Good Life. I don't know if you remember the Good Life. The British will remember it for certain. But it's exactly the vehicle they used to use. So he's off to his allotment to plant, pick or weed his crops. If you look around, especially to the left, where the neighbours, who are a really lovely couple, I mean, they keep their gardens beautifully, and they also take time to look after this place a little bit as well. He was actually a bit miffed that we turned up and made the video without giving him enough warning to go and clean all the land up there. And his good lady also gave the house a bit of a spruce up before we arrived. So come around now and you get the side-on view of the houses and the overhangs at the back. And as we wheel around even more, you get a better idea of where we are. You can always go back, of course, to the video and have a look at the boundary map, but you should have got a better idea now of how the land lies. It is on a gentle slope. It has lots of olive trees and some other fruit and nut trees. So now it is time to go down and meet Sarah.
Hello, good morning. So, yet another house today. This is a stone property. It's in need of modernisation. You could live in it. You'd need to put in some sort of makeshift kitchen, temporary kitchen, to live in it straight away. It's got perfectly nice, good sized lounge, 3 bedrooms, a completely functioning bathroom. It's just the kitchen area that hasn't been done, and you could come and live in this house. It's got a good footprint. It's stone. It's one of those where the walls has been painted. You take the paint off the stone, you get the original features, nice steps, big land, measured at 1,500 square metres, and I think we might have to have that. That needs to be remeasured because it's considerably larger, I think. We have outbuildings that are attached to the property that could be incorporated at a later date. So this is one you could come and live in. It's always good to live in a property for a little while before you decide what you're going to do with it, because you invariably change your mind afterwards if you do it straight away. And you can do that here. There's a big covered area at the back. There's a threshing circle, an aula with a block-built outbuilding next to it. Very peaceful area, nice views, just countryside, forest views. And it's a good price, it's an excellent price. I am stood on a deposito, so it's not a well, it's a tank for collecting water, but it's huge, and you have a good rainy winter, then you've got, this is full. There's a pump on it. I can't guarantee the pump still works, to be honest. It's been a while since the property's lived in. We have, obviously, you've got vines behind me. There's a variety of fruit trees, mostly olives though, to be honest. There are, well, mind you, I say that, and there's 2 citrus trees behind me, so I'm lying. Got a lemon there, not sure what that is. That, I think, is a great big orange over there. And the Nespera tree, if I have a look at what Paul's looking at, there we go. Can you see the building that? Yeah, you've got the orange and you've got the Nespera, and in between the two, more or less directly in the middle of the camera right now, there is a building. Now that's a garage building, and to be honest, it's come somewhat falling down. But just to give you an idea of the boundaries coming up from the road, the Nespera is in, the tall one is in, and it's right on the boundary. And the boundary follows up to the right, and where you can see the ferns, you're going along the boundary. But what Paul will have already done a map, because it's not a straightforward square of land. So, shall we move into the property? I mean, the olive trees are huge, and we've got, it was a lively garden, it's just been neglected because it's been empty. But let's go into the house. So we've just backed up a little bit, and you can get a view of the vines that create a natural cover here. And then as Paul lowers the camera, you can see the water deposito that I was stood on a minute ago. You can also see the flowers, and where the garden did have its own flower bed set in. They just need a bit of TLC to bring them back to, well, a bit of love and care and a bit of maintenance. So
I mean, the earth here is absolutely superb, isn't it?
Yeah, we've just been discussing that with the neighbour who used to have lots of grapevines, but he stopped drinking and took them all out. That's one problem of having grapevines and making lots of wine. So that's the deposito, and then here we are showing what is the little shaded area. We've got the stone wall. It's just outside of the back door. Then the steps in front go up to the garden, and as we turn around to the right, then we've got the front door, the back door, sorry, of the property. Now, as I mentioned, the stone has been painted white, the big lintels here, but again, like all the other video, or most of them that I show you, if you can hear Paul blowing, it's because there's a bug on his camera and it won't move. You can just take all the paint off here. Can you see what I'm looking at?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, I'll come in. And we come into the property itself. So we've spoken about the exposed stone. You can take the paint off. So now this is actually a dining room. I was thinking a lounge, but the lounge is there. The property is quite spacious. The only real issue here is the kitchen, because the kitchen is small and has an enormous fireplace in it. But in this area we're in now, this is quite large. I mean, if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say 4.5 by 1, 4.5 by 3, it's not a small space. And what you need to do is just get rid of this wall. Open this up and this becomes a kitchen diner. You go in here while we're talking about the kitchen, because you have got the plumbing in here because the sink is hidden behind the door. Is your light okay?
Yeah.
Maybe if I...
Just about.
Shut the door. Oh, that helps. Oh, you're... So obviously, it's functioning. You've got cupboard space. I mean, if it wasn't brown, it would help. It's just incredibly dark in here. But this is the only thing. I think if you just came and whitewashed the whole lot and it was still your temporary kitchen, because you're probably going to open it up. What we've got here is one of these traditional huge fireplaces. Unfortunately, in this space here, I'm not sure it's going to work. But this is why I say you need to come into a property and live in it for a while. Because you might find that actually you knock this wall out here. I need to see what Paul's looking at.
Well, I was looking at the fireplace.
Okay, so the wall to the left of the fire, if you go...
Yeah.
I need to get behind you so I can see.
I mean, yeah, it has to go, really.
Right, you've got the stairs. So basically, if the stairs and the wall went, and if you've come round to this whole wall here, I mean, if that went, and it opened up into the lounge, into the dining room where we were a second ago, then suddenly, you might find that you keep the fireplace because you put a great big burner in there, and this area's all opened up. You might not keep the big chimney surround this bit, but you've obviously got a chimney there, you've got a bread oven.
But that bit there holds the chimney up.
Oh,
That's what it's built on. So if you remove that, you remove the chimney.
Okay. Well, this bit needs a bit of thought on how you work it out. Right, I suppose we're here. We need to go through there, do we? Okay. So, going through, again, big stone doorway. And into a kitchen, a bathroom, which, as is normal, was added on at a later date. Because when this property was built, it wouldn't have had the bathroom. So we've got a shower, a bidet, a WC behind the door, and a wash basin. So here now is the back door to the property. Maybe should we return and do the rest of the upper floor here, and we can come back out to this area afterwards. Okay. Oh, and of course there is a rear door there going out to the garden as well. Back through the kitchen. And I guess again we come back and do upstairs separately as well. Let's get this one level done. Try and help you make sense of it. So, tiled floor we're on now, concrete probably. Then here we're into wood. And again, a nice sized room. Stone houses, always, if you've watched more of these videos, you'll have heard me talk about putting a ring beam on. It depends if you need to take the roof off or not. Once you've got a ring beam on, you can pretty much take out whatever wall you want. I mean, you look in here, if you took this wall out and this just turned into one long L-shaped kitchen, lounge, diner, it'd be very nice space. And you've got 3 bedrooms coming off there and a bathroom on the other side. Here is it's a single room and it's got bunk beds in it. That's perfectly viable. This room next to it is a double, and you could get a wardrobe in here as well. Depends how many bedrooms you need, and in the long term what you do with the property. But that's why I say you can come in and live in this and figure it out what you want to do. And then coming back into the lounge area, on the left again you have the end room of the property, which is another double bedroom.
Yeah, for houses of this age, I mean, they're not bad sized rooms.
No, and it's good condition. The floor's in really good condition. Floor's nice.
Yeah.
Floor's nice. Ceiling's all wood. And you could probably get away with treating that and painting it, I think. And we've got, for example, you're looking So that's back out the front of the house. We've got that great big walnut tree. And we've got a covered area there, but well, an uncovered but walled area, but we'll come back to that afterwards. So this really sums up the main habitation of the property. We've got 2 double bedrooms, 1 single, a lounge, a dining room, exterior door to shaded area, and the kitchen, which is really what needs more work initially. And probably we're just, the obstacle is the fact that it's all painted brown and it's very, very dark in there. If that was, oh, and Paul's falling up the step there. Okay, upstairs. Let's go. The stairs are current. I mean, always figuring out where you put your stairs. But you have the option of going up and using upstairs. What you need to do is probably get the stairs out of the middle of the kitchen, which would help again. But up here, we've got a fairly good height. We have got a good height.
Yeah, you can put bedrooms up here for sure.
Obviously, you're going to need 2. Let me look at the beams. You're going to, what do you reckon, Paul? New roof? Some of it's the main beams are probably usable, but it needs insulating. There's no 2 ways about that.
I mean, but it's dry and the timbers are good. I mean, they'd last 30 years probably, but at the end of the day... Again,
live in it and see what it's like.
Yeah. I mean, you could insulate it and make bedrooms as it is, no problem.
Yeah.
I mean, the timbers are good and the tiles are, okay, not new, but in good condition.
These upstairs areas always need insulating because they never have been. And even the floor, or insulate the floor from underneath, give yourself a bit more temperature control and noise control and everything really. But this is a huge usable space.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the downstairs floors are better than this floor.
Yes. Well, I don't imagine. I mean, is there anything in between? This is the ceiling from upstairs, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean...
No, actually, there must be a space in between. There must be.
You could expose loads of stone up here as well, and downstairs, in fact.
Yes.
It is.
I mean, the end.
It is all stone.
Yeah. Apart from the, obviously,
the bathroom.
We've walked through a block wall and saying it's all stone, but that's just dividing wall. The exterior walls are all stone.
Yeah.
And this is the actual front door of the property. If you're coming from the front, it's a good solid door actually, not that old. And coming out here, again stone lintels which have been painted. Same here. We come onto this terrace area. It is fenced, and this is what you call a lovely sun trap. I mean, I'm going to take in just the general surroundings. There are neighbours around, but you're completely private. I really like the location here. About 15 minutes from Ansiao, Santiago de Guarda way. And it's just really pretty countryside. Neighbours' gardens are well looked after. Neighbours are lovely. In fact, I've got to know them quite well. And yeah, so these buildings here, this was just for animals, and this is block built on top. I'll show you the underneath. Do you want to delve in or not? Oh, I've got my shades on, I can't see anything. Right. So, literally a barn with amazing ceiling height, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it could be converted.
Yeah.
Oh, it's animal feed, not animals.
Yeah.
Storing feed.
But it's really high.
Yeah.
And you've got a good picture of how high the ceiling height is.
Yeah.
And there's one more room on the other side, but it's exactly the same. Well, it'll be smaller. Now I've said that, we'll have to look, won't we? Go on. There are stairs here going down to the lower floor. And I think I have traversed them once before, but I don't think I'm going to do it again. Right, so this is the, oh, well, it's the same building.
It's the same.
It's the same. I'm not crawling through there and
it's
opening
not,
that.
It's just another hatch.
Yeah.
It's basically would be a window.
Okay, so maybe this is a good idea to get this sort of enclosed area here in. Because although it looks a little bit ugly with that concrete beam going across, which would have been used for growing something up, or they had a roof on it. So you could either plant some vines and grow something over that to give yourself make a trellis, make a sort of pergola. But what this is really handy for is so many of our clients have dogs. So you've got an immediate enclosed area where your dogs can be outside. You can easily put some shade on that and you don't have to worry, because there's not many properties you'll get to in Portugal that have that pre-fenced area that sort of at least 80% of our clients are looking for. Now here, you've at least got a temporary one, perfectly big enough. My dogs will be happy in there. So let's come down the steps. I do like the little stone steps again, and the curved stone step at the bottom. And we will. You're right. Getting in that curved stone. So the ones outside the kitchen where we went in initially. So having come down the front steps, we're going to show you to the inside of the enclosed area we were just discussing. Paul will show you in the rooms underneath the property. Now here you can see the stone lintels, in fact all the way around the doorway there. They haven't been painted, which is a relief. And you can also, it's keeping going on through. This area has been reinforced with concrete pillars, and beams. So it's actually got a concrete floor as well, isn't it? It's all stone. So we've got this nice centralised stone.
That's actually a stone pillar, isn't it?
It is in the middle there, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got the barrels at the back. And so on top of this, it was block built with that large hayloft. And this is the underneath.
But this is
I
right,
might
this
be
is
wrong
right
on
looking,
that.
don't
This
you?
is part of the house, isn't it? This is part of the house. There was a stair. We're underneath the lounge and the bedrooms.
Are we?
I think so, yes. Because if you go out,
No, I don't think so.
there was a staircase. Go left and go through the next door.
Oh no, you're right. I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Right, if you go underneath,
Yeah, you're right. That was under the.
we were under the main house there. That was the underneath of the stone property. I did have it in my head that these rooms that Paul's showing you the doorways of now.
Yeah, they're block built, aren't they?
Well, let's go in and have a look. Go on.
What? Looking at it.
Well, I can see the wall on the outside is block, but I had a feeling that underneath was stone. Maybe it's just the side wall of the property.
Yeah, because the rest is block.
And then the rest is block. Apart from, you can see all the hay here, but underneath, so that's a feeding tray
Feeding trough, yeah.
for the animals, and this area underneath is stone.
Yeah.
And the wall on the left is stone because that's the back.
Yeah, that's the end of the house.
Yeah, and these are the stairs that I said I didn't fancy coming down. I have been up and down them. Oh, we've got a stone step. And you can see there's a stone base there, but this is block built. But I mean, this is great storage area. Depends what you want to do. There's so many different options.
You could recover this.
Yeah. It's got good height, actually.
Yeah.
got good height, and upstairs is that huge, very high ceiling barn with the hay.
Yeah, it was all built on stone bases.
Yeah. They're definitely animal rooms, but it's quite nice, a separate studio here with its own enclosed courtyard outside.
And you can never have enough storage.
Yeah. Yeah, it can just be storage. Obviously, if you wanted to use it for this, another big room. I mean, not huge. But it's nice with the courtyard out here in these areas. But it's obviously you could have water in, all sorts of things to do if you wanted to put it to accommodation. So again, I think you've got to come and live in the property and decide what you want from it. But space-wise, there's a lot of it. You want to go out and through those gates and we show, maybe walk up the lane and start doing the land. The land is a bit overgrown. I did do a video on this some time ago, but that's when I was just doing them on my phone. Because the neighbour's just been saying, you've done this and it had all been cut. Yeah, it was a while ago and now we're doing it differently. So again, our car, but behind the car, okay.
Sorry, behind the car?
I was just going to say is the boundary of the property. If you turn right, can we show where the property goes up? It's, as I said before, it's not a square. We'll do our very best to get the boundary clear. But the boundary, so if you stay there and I'll just show, it comes along here and this stone wall. So this, I think in the very beginning shot, I was talking about the big Nespra tree in the distance that's in, and it's on the boundary. Well, this is the one. And the boundary then carries up here. And then I'm afraid I'm going to get it wrong, so I'm going to stop talking. We'll do it from the map. Okay, this building's in, but realistically it's falling down. It could be recovered just for a lean-to for a garage. Always handy to have something, you know, protect from the shade. So, you now got a good view of the... I'm trying to see the camera. Not particularly easy. Okay, so there's... I mean, if that was painted white... re-rendered and painted white, yeah, it would look much nicer. Or much nicer. Stone, you know. If you expose some of the stone on the main house.
Clad that wall.
Did do. You can probably tell by my tone of voice there, I'm not very keen on cladding.
No, cladding here is not the same. Some of the cladding's
nice. Yeah. Okay, so it turns out there's an end window. So that's the upstairs. Are you looking at the end of this building?
Yeah.
So that is the very tall hayloft. There's a load of hay there, which is probably why we couldn't see the window.
Yeah.
And then...
that'll be how they get the hay in and out.
Oh yeah, that'll be the one. Then it turns into a bit of a higgledy-piggledy covered area, which may well be putting people off in the photographs of the property because it is ugly. And it's what you come out from the property to. But you either get rid of it or just get rid of all the stuff in it, which obviously you can do anyway, and just keep it and put tiles on it and have it as a covered area outside the back of your property.
Yeah,
it depends.
Something that isn't
just somewhere to, yeah. At the moment it is just ugly. But there's a big tank there, and there's a concrete base, and someone used to do something here that was work-wise. Now, is that...
That's
you know,
press, grape press.
It's grapes, isn't it? Yeah. So this was an area, hence it all being covered, this was an area where people worked. Nobody in there? No.
Let's hope not.
Yes. Big tank underneath pool now. Yeah, there's so much stuff on top of it you can't really see. This right in front of you is a tank.
I saw on the way in.
Oh yeah, and you've still got the tap down here on the left.
Yeah, so that was for grape. That was actually for crushing the grapes.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, the original tread.
Which is a bit, maybe it's the neighbour's grapes that he ripped out because he stopped drinking. It's a bit...
Maybe.
Okay, so where do you want to go now? I mean, maybe we should explain that that's the back door. That's where we stopped filming earlier.
Yeah.
So literally, do you want to explain it? On the left of the little green and white window is the back door of the property.
You want to go through there?
That one, to the right a bit, there.
Yeah.
Okay, and so we go up there.
Yeah.
Because that's where you'd come out. And we've basically done a circle all the way around. And actually, well, I'm just walking past what's the lid of the fossa, the septic tank. I just thought I'd mention it. Here we have another, it's just a storage area. I think it had a laundry in it.
Like
didn't
a
it?
utility room.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's call that the laundry.
Yeah. Now we're going to try and show you the boundaries. So we're starting back at the beginning where Paul's just come from the car. This is the enclosed area, the back of the barn. We have just discussed all of this, but then we went into these outbuildings. Now, what you need to know is from the corner of the property, the boundary pretty much follows the building, the edge of the building, and you can see in front where it's sort of cleared, there's a bit of a stone pathway on the floor, and you keep going up until you find my stick. So, my stick is here. This is my amazing marker. And it goes to that stick up there. Shall I walk up? Yeah. So, we don't have a cornerstone, we have a corner stick, which is more than anything guaranteed to not be here the next time I come. And it comes across this wall. Oops, Paul got prodded. To the corner of this building. The main point about this area here is this fantastic walnut tree. It is obviously incredibly large, gonna have a huge amount of walnuts, and is a fantastic shade giver. And if you weren't looking at a load of corrugated shed, this would be what would stand out. And again, coming out of the back of the house, this is your centrepiece, isn't it? This would be just amazing if you weren't looking at corrugate. So get rid of the corrugate, keep the tree. So we're going to attempt to walk the boundaries.
Or some of them.
Shall I go first or you go first? It's best if Paul goes first. We might have to correct each other along the way. Decided the easiest way is from where Paul stood with the building on his left. It was a straight line. You just can't see the wall because of the big boulders. But the wall is here. And it goes past the threshing circle and the building, which we actually haven't covered yet. There's an enormous cherry tree there as well. There is a stone wall. It is all marked, but the land's overgrown. Unfortunately, you cut it 2 months ago and then we had rain and everything's grown back again. So the wall continues all the way up here. So everything in there belongs to the property. This side, the other side doesn't. So yeah, looking back on the building at the rear of the threshing circle. And then coming up, we're just going to follow the boundaries, I believe. Yeah. So it's a straight line, just walk. So these olive trees are all included. And then we've got another walnut here at the end. Yeah, this one's got walnuts on. And then you get to a camino, which is a public walkway. And we actually have a little boundary marker there. And then you're just going to follow it. Follow me, follow me. Until you get to another stone wall. And we're going to go back that way. Continuing down here, you get to the same camino just round the corner, and your land boundaries it on the other side as well. But we're not going to do that. We're going to go along here. We're going to try it. So basically, the ferns out. Ferns out. Wall in. So, just finding the easiest way to come through. As I said, it's not a square. I mean, this is a rectangle. Clear rectangle. But it's hard for you to see unless you're actually on the land. And what you've got to do is follow the very low stone walls. So this here, no. Inside, I don't know, can you see I don't know if they're clear for people or if I'm just wandering around in a field. Let's keep going.
We are wandering around in a field.
Yeah, this is true. Well, hopefully it achieves both things. So the wall continues. You know why I've got jeans and trainers on now? Right, that takes a downward. I can fall down a bit. And then we take a corner. Again, it's a little bit, I wouldn't necessarily call it a wall. But it is a split level. And in places it's a wall, in places it's big natural rocks. But once you get your head round it, it is all semi-clear. Okay, and then it's going to follow that wall there. We have actually got a wall and a cherry tree. Now, from here, I think you ought to go round. Okay, all right, this is where we said the pigs have been sleeping. So, from here, is it worth looking back to the left at the property for people to attempt to get their bearings? That, again, ugly surrogate, but that's the area that's shading the back door. Yeah. Pretty much where we start. Oh, can you see it?
Yeah, you can see
right.
The deposit on your right. And the corrugated iron on the left, and the house is, of course, in the middle, mostly hidden by that olive tree.
Okay. And now I think it's going to get a bit tricky. We've done it though, haven't we? We've just done it. Got temporarily lost, but I'm back at the cherry tree, which I now know is an almond. Nice big almonds, and the wall. So, follow me. She says, thinking she knows where she's going. Be careful. Because if we just get to the end, it'll sort of make sense. Come on. That wall. Wall. I'm going to say it's another almond. Okay, we've made it. Wall. And back to the truck. The battery's about to die, so we're trying to get it. Boundaries in. Okay. Continues right up there. And here. Oh, we've made it. So this big olive tree here is in. And you come back to the track. So this is the same Camino. Little, it's just a track, an old walkway. And if you've got enough battery, can we just get it all in? So that is included.
Yeah.
And now I've lost it again. Hang on. Here. So all of this is included. Oh yes, we've done it. And here's the wall that, do you know what? We're not going to walk down there. The wall that links up with the back of the garage. Everything in, or maybe if you get the flowers, big rock, and the flowers behind it, which I think is belladonna. Okay, there's your land.
Right.
But when you're on a viewing, we will ask the neighbour to clarify everything as I do. Please do like and subscribe. I hope you've liked the video. Oh, get the views in. We've managed to mention the views.
And they are lovely.
They are lovely. We've forgotten about that bit. Okay, and which way is south, Paul? Where's the sun? Right above us.
South is that way.
So the property at the rear,
It's south
north
facing.
east, more or less southwest facing, isn't it?
Yeah, southwest facing.
Okay, there we go. Right, I hope that's been useful. See you next time.